G'day everyone, it's Classy here. I just wanted to show you something. This has been an idea that's been on my mind for like months now, probably years even. It all started with two things. Number one, I have this pair of Crocs here, which these are actually a bit of a knockoff one, but the soles on these things wear out so easily, and even when you buy these new, they are very, very slippery. The second thing is that there's a thing called a car tire thong or car tire flip flop, right? The idea of it is that you take a car tire and you put ropes through it, and it turns it into a shoe, right? It's basically lasts many, many years because a car tire is designed to carry something that is really, really heavy, many thousands of kilometers, and I'm just some, 80 kilo goober. So right now we've got this tire here. This is a lawnmower tire. I think a car tire is still very, very stiff, and it has a whole bunch of steel cording in there and stuff. This here is still quite flexible, so even though it's lower, sort of a little bit thinner, it's still the same kind of compound, I suppose. I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sides of this out, and then I'm going to cut this into a flat like band, into a flat belt, and then I'm going to cut out the shape of this, and then just glue the underside with some hot glue. Okay, that happened. All right. Now let's see if we can cut it in half lengthways. It turns out yes you can. Kevlar boots for the win. Right. My next thing is to try and get it nice and flat. So you see these edges here, I'm going to try and get these out. So I want basically just two flat sides here. Cutting a tire is quite a bit tricky. So we got this one and that one there. Right, so we're at the sort of the next stage of our shoe modification here. What I've got is two separate pieces here, and we're going to basically just put shoe down, draw a round shoe, and then just cut the shape out of that, right? So I've got some various markers here that I was just trying out here. Obviously you can just try it on a separate piece. I found the silver Sharpie seems to work quite well, but of course any kind of whiteout or anything like that will also work just as well. But I'm going to use a silver Sharpie here to just draw around this. Maybe actually make sure it's lined up. Okay, so that there is our right shoe. For anybody wondering why I'm doing it this way, because the method of turning this into a pair of thongs or a pair of flip-flops, this rubber here is quite toxic. Realistically, I should be wearing gloves. If you're going to handle like raw car tire rubber like this, wear gloves. Gluing it onto the bottom of a shoe like this, well, your foot is already protected through the material here of the foam material of the shoe here, right? So gluing this down to the bottom, you're going to have the glue, obviously, and then you're going to have, of course, the shoe. So really sort of that there is only going to be contacting the ground and not your foot. I think that's the reason why car tire thongs were not as commonplace here in the Western world than it was in other places, where I think that was the only option. But from what I could understand, those car tire thongs or car tire flip-flops will last many, 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 many years. Right, of course the next step is to cut all this out. Making sure to follow all knife safety protocols and use a knife where the blade isn't going to be popping out all the time. This is my knife. I know how to use this knife. The amount of risk you're willing to put on your own life is entirely your discretion. So I am not advocating for anything that I'm doing here. This is just purely how I do things. If you know of a better system that involves me reducing the risk of me cutting my hands open, let me know in the comments down below. Look at that. Step one. No. The right side completed. Just put that down on the bottom here. How good does that look? 2 piece. Well, 5. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Math is magic. Okay.
Breathe.
Just breathe. And I'm like, like air is not scarce.
Well, I'm just watching you, and you're just like, redder.
Just like, if you would like to test the graphical quality of your RGB setup, use my shapes as a reference point. Guys, my R values are too low. It's like, my R values are too high. Classy looks like a tomato. Like, no, that's what he looks like. For anybody wondering, I'd mentioned sort of that you should be wearing gloves while doing this. I'm not wearing gloves because I forgot. But if you're going to do this, please don't forget to wear gloves, because, yeah, bad jujubes, bad stuffs.
show your hands too.
Oh yes, you can sort of see all the black shmoo on there. Bit of Solvo, Solbol should solve that, no worries. Oh, there we go. You look at that. We've got two shoe soles, a left side and a right side. Right. So what I'm doing right here is after I put the glue onto sort of the bottom of this, right? So there's a few steps to do before we get to gluing. We need to put these blocks of wood inside here. We need to make sure that all of this is very clean, right? Because when we put the glue on, the glue is going to want to stick to the dirt, not the parent material, which is, of course, in this case, the bottom of a shoe and the inside of this lawnmower tire, right? So in order to do that, of course, again, clean it up quite well, but we also want to fill these shoes up a little bit. So when we clamp them down, we put, something between the shoe like this. And then when we clamp it all down like this, you're going to get even pressure over the entirety of both shoes at the same time. But in order to do that, we need to fill these up, right? Because otherwise the shoe is just going to twist and contort in all different kinds of ways, and we don't want that. Okay, right, so the next step here is we got a bucket of nice hot soapy water here, because we want to clean all this up. So Right, so all of this stuff is clean. I'm just going to put them on the railing here because just to give them time to dry. And now we're going to go inside for a chai. Hey going everybody, we're back. We've sort of waited for quite a bit here. We're just doing sort of the everything is dried, everything is all nice and clean and everything. What I've done here is I've used a hatchet here to try and sort of cut this into a curve so we actually can get this as much as possible. I know how to work with wood, it's just I wanted to get this done quickly. Anyway, so we've got the shoe filled here with some blocks of wood. So we'll clamp it down. It's actually going to clamp the sole here flat. And yeah, so we can put that on the lawnmower just there for a second. And probably want this here. So we've got some clamps here, we've got some hot glue here. Right, so when it comes to hot glue, I suppose most people know this, but if you don't, the main mechanism of hot glue is that it works as a glue when it is hot, right? It's in the name, hot glue, right? The trouble is that things like lawnmower tires and shoes are a thermal mass, right? So when you're looking at a low flow, sort of like this little tiny sort of domestic grade glue gun here, as soon as I start putting glue on here, the glue is going to solidify very quickly. So when I go to attach the sole to the bottom of this shoe, the glue is going to separate quite a bit, right? So what we need to do is we need to put quite a bit of glue under here and make sure it's nice and spread out evenly, so then when we go to clamp it down, we actually have a full coverage of glue here, right? I have done this method, so of just basically ladening this with a whole bunch of hot glue and using a heat gun to heat it up so that the whole thing is nice and evenly heated. So when we go to attach it, then everything is nice and hot, including, of course, the surface that you're trying to glue to. So, of course, I'm just going to sit the shoe upside down here, and what we're just going to do is just glue all this to the bottom of this. So we just want to apply as much hot glue as possible to the bottom of this. Okay, you see how the glue here, like by the time I finish down here, the glue up here is already pretty well, it's no longer glue, right? It's just a glue stick, right? All I've done is just pretty well just distributed this material all over this place. So now we want to take our hot gun and heat this material and heat this hot glue and just spread it, right? It needs to be spreadable. So I'm going to heat up the end of this paddle here so I can basically just spread this glue all over here, just get a nice even coverage. And you see how it just spreads like this? Ah, thank you. Careful, it will be hot.
Yeah.
I might need to get... Okay, that's really tacky now. It's actually sort of nicely evenly coated right here. So we're just gonna very quickly attach that onto here. Ow, I've got splinters. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, I need a block of wood. Okay, so I need to be able to just very quickly. I'm doing this very quickly because EVA glue tends to stop being glue very quickly, like within about 3 minutes, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is just kind of race against time a little bit. See, I think it's important to recognize that I have no idea if this is going to work, because all of this is just purely experimental. If I had, man, I still have a splinter. Okay. If I had sort of like a little bit more sort of tools and everything, I could just basically sort of put this shoe in a hydraulic press and just basically sort of just get nice even coverage on this. But this is all I've got. And look, let's be honest, if I had the money to buy that kind of equipment, I wouldn't be trying to repair a pair of shoes that it's like $5. But anyway, we'll pause here for a second and we'll come back and...
Okay.
Right, so I've clamped all this together. I've let the glue cool down. It actually works. As you can see, we've got good contact all over the place. We've even got sort of some good contact in the middle here. The amount of gravity that is in these things. They feel so strange. They feel heavy. Like, you know, sort of when you walk through mud in that, like that really kind of thick, cakey kind of mud that it just kind of glues to the bottom of your shoe. That's what it feels like. But I also feel like I could get used to this. So, my lovely lass and I, we're going to go for a walk down to town and back. We shall see if this holds up. We shall see. I'll get back to you on that one when we get back home. Alright, see you then. Right, I've just come back from just a I guess maybe 10-15 minutes walk here, and And so far, these things are fantastic. You can sort of see that the glue here is separated just ever so gently from here, but I think the 90% of it is totally fine. The biggest issue is that you want the glue to basically come all the way out to the edge here. You can sort of see I've sort of undercut it just here, so there's and I had to sort of cut off the edge here, so when I clamped it, it sort of slid just a little bit. This piece here, this one here, the first one I did, came out really well. I mean, you could already see just a little bit of chewing gum on the bottom. Ew, I can't believe I'm touching that, but these feel very strange, right? They're obviously they're a lot heavier with this solid rubber, the solid lawnmower tire just underneath here, but and you can definitely tell that it's not as soft as the EVA foam, but at the same time it's a consistent sensation no matter what you're walking on, whether it be concrete or grass or rocks, pebbles up and down a hill. You can definitely tell that these shoes are a lot more grippy, because before the amount of grip on there was kind of abysmal, right? Now they feel like exceptionally nice. I'm gonna leave it here. So just to go sort of for a summary, what I've done is I glued some lawnmower tire just on the bottom of these Crocs here, because obviously the Croc itself had worn away sort of over the sort of the few years that I had this pair, and so with this tire here I can basically get many more years out of this shoe, and just by doing this here. If I would recommend doing this, number one, exercise knife safety. Number two, make sure that you use the hot glue is evenly hot all over the surface. Clamp it evenly. You want to make sure that your shoe hasn't worn a hole through there, so you still want there to be a full coverage of shoe inside here, because you don't want your skin to come into contact with the rubber sole here, at least the bottom of your foot there, right? So far I'm gonna say, if anything happens with these shoes, I'm gonna leave I'm gonna do a sort of a bit of a short, but so far pretty good. Thanks for watching.